Hi everyone. In today's video we are going to be doing a manicure, natural nail manicure with Dazzle Dry in color called Heartbreaker. And we'll be removing, this is RPI. This is RPI Infinite Shine, which is very impressive. It was called RPI Nails the Runway. And this is 2 weeks. So this is really, really good. There was a little bit of chipping and wear on this and on this finger. So this is really, really good. Let's see the thumbs. Yeah, a little bit of chipping here. Overall, very good. This was 3 coats. And I really dried them in between the coats, so maybe that helped as well. Okay, so we're gonna remove it first. I'm going to use pure acetone. Place the pads on the nails. Remove most of the polish this way, and whatever is left, I'm gonna grab another piece of cotton because I just don't want the sparkle to get everywhere. Shorter? Yeah. Not too much shorter? What would you like?
Not too much.
Not too much? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of match this one because it looks like it's a little bit shorter. The wear of the polish really depends on the natural nails. This client really has very nice and healthy and strong nails, so that's why things last better. So when people ask me what's the best thing to do for my polish to last, I would say make sure your nails are as healthy as possible. looking if there was any peeling. There was slight peeling on this side, but not too bad. So normally I do dry manicure, but today we're going to do something different, and I'm going to use a cuticle remover because a lot of you guys obviously don't use electric files. So you'll see how this will be done with cuticle remover. So this is Blue Cross. So I put a little dot, drop on a nail. Then move it around. Blue Cross works quite fast, and there was not a lot of cuticle, not a lot to correct, so I'll just go in and just lift the cuticle. So what I'm doing now is I'm removing the cuticle from the nail plate, but I won't be cutting the proximal nail fold, which is living skin. So the cuticle here can be safely removed. It's this white stuff that's coming off. So what you see here, this skin, if you can see it, that's a living skin. It's a proximal nail fold. This is not a cuticle. This is cuticle here, the white stuff that's coming off. There's two pieces of skin almost. One is on the nail and the other one is here. This white cuticle comes from underneath this fold of skin. So now I have to remove this, neutralize it with water. So I'm going to spray some water. Because this product is, well, all the cuticle removers pretty much are very alkaline. So if they're left on the skin for too long, they can be quite irritating. So if you're doing your own nails, you can do one hand at a time. I do this pretty quickly and there's not much to do, so I did both hands. Okay, let's do this. See, what's lifting is cuticle here. I almost do these little circles. And just make sure I don't push that skin underneath the fold. I kind of push it away from the fold. There we go. I'm going to go back now and see if there is, because you can see there's still pieces left, but I wanted to make sure that the cuticle remover is off the skin. A lot of people ask me, what do I do when a client comes in with overgrown cuticle, which what they really mean is overgrown or damaged skin fold or proximal nail fold. So I do exactly the same thing. So it's a process. It's not, in order to do this gently, you have to do it on a regular basis and just kind of think of it as a progress, not trying to achieve perfection in one manicure. And that way you can do it very, very safely without any cutting. Without any risk of infection. There you go. So now there are sometimes little pieces of skin here and many times people cut them. I find when you cut it, it starts to split and peel. So what I normally do, well, I use electric file often. So what I do is I use a gentle bit to just exfoliate that skin a little bit. But you can also do that with the file. So if you're holding it this way, You can kind of get into those little corners just to exfoliate them a little bit. And obviously if there is pieces that are sticking up, we can trim it a little bit. But best thing to do is to really take care of that skin, to soften it, to use proper creams, to use proper soaps, not to use anything super harsh. And that skin will soften, because too much friction and too much pressure will create callus. That's how callus is created, by pressure and friction. So if clients have dry skin around their nails, they have to take care of that skin. We can't really make it disappear in one appointment. I mean, I guess we can, but that's sometimes not a very not very long-lasting result, and not very safe way of achieving it, in my opinion. And if there is not a lot of skin, just leave it alone, because sometimes the more you do, the more the skin is going to grow, because it's just trying to protect itself. Use a soft buffer block and just smooth the ends, and also a little bit the cuticle area. I don't buff the whole nail, it's unnecessary. Sometimes what it is, there's just, after removing cuticle, there is little catches. So I want to get rid of them before polishing, just making sure that everything is very, very clean. Because the cleaner you apply the polish, the better it lasts, the less it peels, and the better it looks. And believe it or not, but good nails are actually quite easy to achieve. You just need to be very consistent. So there's no miracles here. It's just consistency and constant care. And this can be totally done at home. This was a little damaged area a while ago, so there is, I don't want to remove, I don't want to buff it off, so some polish got into it a little, I guess like a cut in the nail. It's growing out. You can also take care of this dry skin a little bit. The buffer. Okay. Going to use prep. I really do suggest, when using Dazzle Dry, it's such a different system, to use it as a full system. It works much better that way. So I really make sure that I get into the little grooves, that I clean the free edge right here. And I do the oil and the cream at the end. This polish dries so quickly, It dries in exactly 5 minutes, so I'll let it dry and then I put the cream on, because right now if I put cream and oil, then I have a lot to clean up, and this way I can really see what I'm doing when the nail is a little bit drier. It's just personal preference, you can do it both ways. If you have a lot of cream and oil on the nails, you might want to wash your hands off, which that's why I just don't understand. It's a little pointless, because you really want to make sure that you're not just smearing the oil with the prep. The base coat needs to be very clear. So if it's a little cloudy because it's been too cool in the room, make sure that you warm it up by putting it in the bowl of warm water to make sure that it's completely clear. Because when it's not clear, it's not going to bond properly to the nail. Just going to wipe away the excess at the free edge. Okay. Go to the thumbs last. The base coat is quite watery, so I don't want the base coat to kind of seep to one side. Dazzle Dry is a very different system, so if you don't succeed at the very beginning, if you're frustrated, if you could just hold it this way, be patient with yourself, because you will learn it. There is a bit of a learning curve with it, but it's really, really worth it. I think the consistency of the polish is a little bit different, so that's what gave me the most kind of frustration at the beginning, but you get used to it. So as you can see, the base coat dried to almost a matte finish, so I'm gonna put a second coat. Dazzle Dry recommends 2 layers of base coat. To be honest with you, when a client has strong nails like these, I feel that 1 layer is plenty, but I'm gonna follow the directions to show you how to do it right. On toes, you just need 1, unless the toenails are really, really damaged. Sometimes after gel polish removal or things like that, they're damaged, so then I use 2 coats, but normally just 1 and it lasts a month, no problem. With Dazzle Dry, I noticed that you really have to apply the base coat correctly. So you want to make sure that it doesn't touch the skin, but you want to make sure that it covers the whole nail. So when I'm polishing, I turn the nail to the sides to make sure that everything is covered. Because if it's not, the polish is going to peel from that area because the polish won't bond to the nail. The polish will bond to the base coat. And now we have to let the base coat, the second coat, dry. Just hold it like this. Okay, so very important thing, you have to make sure that the base coat is dry properly, because if it has areas, especially you have to look at the free edge, the ends, because if you wrapped it, there was just a little bit more base coat over there. So you want to make sure that the ends are super dry. If they're not dry, the polish is going to stick to it and become very, very gooey. So as you can see right here, this is a very good example. You see right there, the end here, it's still a little wet. So by the time we get to it, and there is a little bit of here, wet base coat there. See this part? So usually it takes like no time, like a minute for this to dry. So in that time I just shake the nail polish. Okay, so Heartbreaker, which used to be called It's Not You, It's Me. Now it's called Heartbreaker. Has an amazing formula. It's pretty much one coater. This polish looks really good with, I think it's called Spiritual Diva on top. It's like a shimmer, or with Purity as well. So then you can do one coat of polish and one coat of the shimmer, because this covers so well. And Wink Wink as well. It's another one that's really good topper. Okay, so you want to make sure that the first coat of polish is dry, so it's going to become like a little matte. It's not going to be as shiny. This little part is still a little wet, so it's good to learn to know the difference. So I can start with this. And now as this hand is drying, I'm just going to see if I need to clean up any edges. They look almost perfect. But I'm gonna make them more perfect. So I just use pure acetone on the brush. It's actually important to use pure acetone for this step, because polish remover sometimes can have oils and different things that you don't want on the nails right now. This is dry already. Okay, top coat time. I can see that the top coat is a little bit too thick, so I'm gonna add some Revive to it. Revive is a thinner that's made specifically for Dazzle Dry, and the top coat definitely, the colors too, need it. Just a few drops left. So you just need a few drops at a time and see how the consistency is. That's better. So I'm not gonna shake it, I'm gonna kind of roll it. I've applied maybe like 5 drops in here. Okay, these are dry. Now I'm gonna give them 5 minutes to dry. Five minutes later, and the nails are dry.